WWE Fan Night 93 here to go over Monday Night Raw, July 6, 2020. A recap of what happened. We are set for a great night. We have Seth Rollins and Murphy taking on Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio. We also are going to be seeing the Raw Women's Champion Asuka going one-on-one against the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. And also we're going to see a six-man tag between Randy Orton, Angel Garza, and Andrade against the team of the Viking Raiders and the Big Show. Great show tonight. It's going to be huge, great match. And we go to the ring with the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre coming out first. He welcomes everyone, and he basically talks about how he's going to let Ziggler pick the stipulation for the match, and he calls Ziggler out so he can reveal the stipulation. Ziggler comes out, and he basically says, I'm not going to tell you what the stipulation is. They go back and forth. Ziggler talks about how McIntyre has stabbed people in the back and forgotten about them, and Dolph says, it's not just me that you've forgotten about, and I brought someone here tonight who you did wrong in the past, and Heath Slater comes out. And if you remember, Heath was recently just fired, so this was a surprise to see him. Slater cuts a really deep promo. He talks about how he's known Drew for more than a decade. They go way back more than anyone knows. He recalls watching Drew win at WrestleMania 36, and he talks about how it made him cry, and Drew was released years ago. He checked on Drew every day and came to visit him because Drew was his brother. And then he says, where were you? You weren't there for me. He talks about how when we talked on the bump, the only show that he felt let him come on and speak his mind, he says that Drew said he was fighting for him to have a contest with him. However, as we saw, he didn't get one. So Slater basically pushes Drew, and then he slaps him, and Drew says, okay, you're on, you gotta fight. And so we go to a commercial break, we come back, and we're seeing Heath Slater against Drew McIntyre. The match was very quick. He dropped Slater with a Claymore kick, and he pinned him. After the match, Drew wins, and Dolph Ziggler comes in the ring. He has words, and Slater doesn't like what he said, so Ziggler and Heath get into a fight, and then McIntyre runs in, Ziggler runs away, and basically Drew and Heath Slater embrace, and things are okay. This was a good promo from Heath. He had so much passion in it, and he did really good, and I was excited to see the match. This is a good send-off if he is leaving WWE, however, for greener pastures, we will see. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with the WWE Women's Tag Champion Sasha Banks and the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. They say, we're not going to talk to you, we're going to go out and talk to the world, and Asuka says she won't be alone against Bayley and Banks. And Bayley and Banks come out, and Bayley says that it looks so easy and everyone's sheep. She talks about Extreme Rules, how she's going to fight Nikki Cross, and Sasha predicts that she will make Asuka tap out at Extreme Rules, and Sasha will become 2 belts Banks. They talk about how they steal the show, and they take over the whole damn company. Asuka comes out, and she says Bayley is not ready for Asuka, and Asuka says Bayley tells her to bring it on. Who do you have? And then Kairi Sane comes out, who obviously is former tag partners with Asuka, the Kabuki Warriors, and we're now on for Kairi Sane against Sasha Banks. It was a good match, pretty good until Bayley interfered and caused a disqualification, hitting Kairi Sane. There's a fight onto the floor. Kabuki Warriors get the upper hand, and Sane hit a big top rope elbow drop on the champions. We go backstage and we see Aleister Black is knocked down on the ground with a Rey Mysterio mask on, while Murphy and Rollins stand over him. We then see the Viking Raiders with a bowling ball, and Big Show walks up. He says he likes to have fun, but tonight is different. Big Show tries to get them focused, and Eric promises Big Show that the raid will be on when they go out to the ring tonight. So Kevin Owens comes out, and he brings out Seth Rollins with Murphy, and he calls Seth the biggest piece of trash he's ever met. And Owens says things haven't been going good for Rollins since WrestleMania 36. He says their history between each other isn't good, but when you face someone at WrestleMania, you have a bond, and because of that, Owens has something to give Rollins to commemorate the WrestleMania moment, and it's a shirt of KO's WrestleMania 4 t-shirt. So Rollins says he doesn't give a damn about Owens or his shirt. He says he's using his show as a platform to address Rey Mysterio. He challenges Rey to a match at Extreme Rules so they can tend to their unfinished business. He says it's time to permanently sacrifice Rey for the greater good of Raw. He now gets on to Owens, and he says that Owens needs to think more than he thinks he does, and just like Raw needs Rollins. Rollins says Owens should consider how he will get more out of fighting with Rollins instead of against. He says Owens has been fighting for so long, but maybe he needs a purpose to fight for. And then Rey Mysterio comes out with his son Dominic. He says Owens isn't going to fall for Rollins' BS. Rey accepts Rollins' challenge for Extreme Rules. He says his blood will be on Rey's hands. Rollins says a tag match for tonight, but Rey's partner is now MIA. And Dominic, and basically Seth says Dominic can come in the ring and get his eye poked out too. Owens says he will team up with Rey Mysterio, and the winner of this tag match will get to pick the stipulation for Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins at the horror show at Extreme Rules. So now we're on Seth Rollins and Murphy against Rey Mysterio and Kevin Owens. A good back and forth match. Dominic got involved, and the match came to an end after Rey hit a big frog splash on Murphy for the win. And after the match, Rey says an eye for an eye will be the stipulation for Extreme Rules. Now we read a little bit about what it said that match will pertain to, and it is basically you have to gouge your opponent's eye out. So we'll see. So we look back at a MVP, how he defeated Apollo Crews, and basically Crews is out of action right now, and Lashley says he broke Crews mentally, physically, and spiritually, and it says it's just a matter of time before his title reign comes to an end. And then MVP says they're going to discuss the future of the United States title next. So then we come back, and MVP and Bobby Lashley come out, and there's a podium in the ring to unveil the new WWE United States Championship. MVP says that he will challenge Crews for the title at Extreme Rules. The horror show, he talks about how he will once again become United States Champion. He reveals a new design for the title belt. It looks good. We'll talk more about that later on, but it doesn't look too bad. Basically, Lashley declares MVP as a new champion now, and then Ricochet and Cedric Alexander come out. They talk trash to both Lashley and MVP, and now we have a tag match between Lashley and MVP against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. These two go at it, and MVP and Lashley end up winning after Lashley hits a big spear to Cedric for the win, pinfall, and MVP raises his hands. And then Lashley grabs Cedric and manhandles him with a full Nelson. And then we see Angel Garza and Zelina Vega. They are talking about how Andrade is not interested. He's sick of it. And Hall of Famer Ric Flair comes. He says, tonight is a must win, and if not, they must answer to Randy Orton. Orton respects them even just a little bit for being generational talents, but if they screw up tonight in the ring, he won't hesitate to introduce them to the Legend Killer. Alright, and then Charles the Kabuki Warriors, they challenge Sasha Banks and Bayley to a match for the WWE Women's Tag Titles next week on Raw. Insane plays her flute. Next we have the 6-man tag, the Big Show and the Viking Raiders against Randy Orton, Andrade, and Angel Garza with Zelina Vega, of course. Pretty decent match. And let's see what it said. Hang on. And then Orton has a very, sorry about that guys, I was just trying to remember. Orton has a very intense moment where he yells at Angel Garza, tells him to get his ass out of the ring. He throws him up a plexiglass and grabs him by the throat and tells him, get your head out of your ass. I knew you grew up in the business, but Randy won't hesitate to put Angel in the dirt. And then they end up winning the 6-man tag, Orton, Andrade, and Garza, after Orton hits Eric with an RKO and gets the pin. Next, we have the Iconics. They make fun of Ruby Riott again, and basically Riott says when they're done tonight, it won't be iconic, it will be tragic. MVP is talking to Cedric Alexander, trying to tell him, come in the business, stop watching everyone else find success, come work with us. We then have Ruby Riott against Billie Kay. Billie Kay ends up winning the match after she's hitting her with the boyfriend stealer, which is a good finisher for the win. Sasha accepts the challenge, but Bayley isn't sure about the tag title match, but Banks reminds her they are the best and no one else on any of the 3 shows can touch them. So next we have the main event, the non-title champion versus champion match, the SmackDown Women's Champion and Tag Champion Bayley against the Raw Women's Champion Asuka. They have a great back and forth match. Basically, Banks tries to interfere, but Kairi Sane cuts her off, and Asuka has the Asuka lock on her, and Bayley ends up tapping out. And Raw goes to a close with that main event. So Raw was okay. Nothing spectacular, nothing terrible. I give it a 7 out of 10. Could be better. They're building up a lot for the horror show at Extreme Rules. A prediction show will be brought out this Tuesday. Well, not this Tuesday, next Tuesday. And we'll be talking more about that. We also have NXT, the Great American Bash Night 2. That's on tonight. A prediction video will go out. Well, yeah, we'll see if we can get it out today. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you can stay notified when new content comes out. And I will see you all soon. Take it easy, my friends.